Hey, welcome, Merrimack. This is the um, January 27th, 2025 Board of Commissioners meeting, Merrimack Village District. Public participation to these meetings is offered by webinar, and you can go on to mvdwater.org website. On the agenda for all our meetings, there's a link that you can click on to get on the Zoom meeting, or you can call a phone number on there as well. And enter a webinar ID. All that information is on the agenda for every meeting. So I'll call the meeting to order at 5 p.m. and ask everyone to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And we have our colleague Wolf is under the weather, so he's been excused from tonight's meeting. We have the rest of the four commissioners here. So I think we can start with Finance and Human Resources Review with Kristen Mara.
Okay, thank you. Reports as of December 31st, which is 50% through the fiscal year. Currently at our revenue of just over $4 million, which is about 63.71% of our budget. Our expenses are at $2.4 million, which is about 39.3% of our budget. For the end of December, our net ordinary income is $1.5 million. That will be reduced as loan payments due to timing are mostly at the end of the year. Due to our revenue being high, again, income is still very high. I foresee that leveling out. The new mains for Saco Main and new constructions for entrance fees, a lot of that money has come in that are showing under revenue. And also we sold a bunch of scrap metal for about $7,000.
Oh, wow.
Which was a nice little added bonus.
That's good.
For expenses, again, the opposite side for the new mains and entrances, our new construction expense 70040. We're putting in all of those new meters and meter horns for all those new constructions that have just come online. And what I had mentioned last month that we were looking to do 70677.4 and 70677.8. We got additional pumps and VFDs to keep on the shelves so that we are not waiting for shipping when any of that goes down. Any specific questions on revenue and expense? In particular, you have a question on?
I had one on line 40412.
441.
Backflow. Is that just a timing issue? It's only at
Yes,
16%.
we just started
Okay.
our backflow season right as of yesterday.
Okay.
Or as of today, I mean.
And then, yeah, I do have another one on 50108. It's a sick payout. Is that a buyout or just actually sick days that occurred?
That is anything over the thank you. I always want
maximum carryover.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Anything else, and it's once a year done in December.
so those are the payouts for people that were at the max. Okay.
Okay.
Any other?
No, the new entrances, that's just like a customer comes to pay for a new
To join our
service,
system.
right? Yeah. Okay. And then there, in items, let's see, some of these are like 70250, 70400. There's like a D in parentheses in there. I didn't know what.
That just means distribution versus treatment.
All right.
Those were put there when I very first started.
All right, I didn't
Never took
realize.
them back out.
Okay. That's all I got. Any other questions? All right,
Right,
carry on.
moving on to the fund balance. As of December 31st. Our unassigned fund balance is at $22 million. 3.9 of that is convertible cash. And our net income, including all accounts, which is below the line included, is 1.79 million. And we just got payment the beginning of January for 2, 9, 7, and 8. So the project is done.
Really?
So that column will disappear.
Good. You have a note on here, you haven't gotten the statement.
From the trust, from the
Yeah.
didn't take that off.
Did that come in or
It
not?
did come in.
All right, all right. I was gonna ask you if that's
They
quite
are
a bit
usually
longer than,
delayed.
okay,
November, because I basically had an extra week to do the financials this month because of the holiday. I got November and December timely,
okay.
that they're in the reports. Trust fund activity. I have taken off anything that was moving to a new year, moved down, based on, as we did the budget. Along with the fact they, areas 3 and 4 and 5, we got a full grant for, so I took that amount that's coming out that we thought we may have to take out of capital, we do not. I did leave a to be determined just in case. And I also plugged in the estimates of the 800,000 going back into equity facilities based on the warrant articles for this annual year, and 200,000 going into the water O&M based on the warrant articles for this annual meeting. So at the end of 2025, roughly land and acquisitions, 1.5 million, equipment and facilities, 3.3 million, system and development, 1.3 million, legal, 112,000, and water purchase O&M, 270,000. Any questions on trust funds?
Yeah, I had one on equipment and facilities, go down into the 2025. I guess it's in the 2026 year.
Yep.
It says booster pump station evaluation. Which one is that? Is that the Turkey Hill tank pump station, or is that Belmont?
Belmont.
It is Belmont. And
I think the cell got squished. Because I believe that is in there.
Oh, really? Okay. So the 100,000, that's just for like an engineering evaluation. That's not for parts or something, right? Or any improvements?
That was for the evaluation, just,
Yeah.
no parts or anything.
It's hopefully a conservative number. That's what are we looking to do there? Just like
It was really an
overall upgrade or?
off its SCADA controls. That's the only station that's not linked with SCADA.
Oh, okay.
But it's one of those, it's not, if it goes down, it's not like, we lose water pressure at all. It's just a boosting station. So, and if it does go down, Belmont Hill still has water pressure, it's just lower.
Lower, yeah.
And we'll get a call and we'll just go reset.
Okay. In that same category, just below that, it talks about a portable pressure pump for high service and then a new pressure pump for high service. Is that,
Potentially for 2027.
yes, right. So are those redundant or we would like to have both of those? Is that like a portable one and then? Again, is this for Belmont or is this for?
No, this was just for, if the Belmont booster went down, sorry, not Belmont.
Turkey Hill?
Turkey Hill went down, it was you could hook to a hydrant
It's a backup.
as a backup and pump into the high service.
So then the new pressure pump for high service, is that a permanent pump? Because it's on here twice.
Is it on price?
There's a
One says
portable,
and
yeah,
one says a new pressure.
That's why I'm wondering.
Are they different or are they the same?
right. I didn't know if we needed a
I
new
need to look
pump
into
over
that, I
there.
don't know,
That pump station is about what, 6 years old? It's older than that?
it's as old as 4 or 5, so right around the same time.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Maybe, yeah, 4 or 5 years old. All right, just check into that. I just
Yeah,
didn't know if that was,
I know we keep moving things down, so the thing is, the portable's down when we actually wanted to make the new one,
I'm
the
wondering-
permanent, so
right,
they may be different, they may be the same at this point if we're.
I wonder if it doubled up. So,
yeah, they're both the same of value, so maybe that was
yeah,
the case.
that's what I'm wondering if it doubled up.
All right. And I was just curious, the next line below that for year 28 is Parker Drive tank. Is that, what is plan, the work plan there? Is it recoding or something else?
Parker Drive, yeah, we do need to blast wood coated that tank at some point.
Inside or outside or both?
Yes, both.
Okay,
It's been. Try to keep the last time it's been done, it's been in the 20 years.
really? Okay,
That keeps moving too.
It's not that it's rusting, but it does need,
right.
it's not just a paint now, it's a blast and recoat.
And I know we used that when we painted the Hutchinson tank some years ago. Had to take that off and put online. All right, that's all I had. I just wanted to get a little more information on all those. Any other questions, anyone else? So we good with that then?
All right.
No more else, nothing more on the finances or anything, and then we can go to the regular session. I see we get Jamie. How you doing, Jamie?
I am great. You guys feel the earthquake today?
I did.
No,
Yeah.
no, when I was in a mill building in Manchester and everybody's like, did you feel that? And I'm like, no, I
Yeah.
didn't.
It's pretty good. It rumbled pretty good. I was impressed.
Really, I was really into my spreadsheet.
Our building here in Meredith rocked pretty hard, but my father-in-law, who was 100 and a half, who still lives at home in York, Maine, was 8 miles from the epicenter, and he thought his furnace had exploded.
Wow.
Yeah, so yeah, that was they really felt it down in York in the seacoast area. Yeah,
Wow.
it's rare for us to have these things happen. I thought it was pretty cool.
Hmm.
But-
All right, so you're on the discussed Mitchell Woods project change order.
Yep.
And we have that in our packet.
Yeah, can I share my screen?
Yeah, I'm making it closed.
Should be good, Jamie.
Can you see my screen?
Nope.
Let's try it again. Here we go. How's that?
There we
Got
go.
it.
Yep.
Okay, so I thought it would be good to kind of just bring us all back to what's going on in Mitchell Woods and why this is of interest, I think. Um, so for those who have not been involved in Mitchell Woods, this is an area that's a conservation area that's pretty, thought was pretty pristine. We had gone through a very detailed exploration program in terms of looking at alternative or additional sites throughout Merrimack, and very few opportunities exist, as Don knows. But we did identify this particular site, and this is the well site called the Mitchell Woods production well site that we had drilled. And these are monitoring wells around this facility. This is the piezometer and the wetlands. And I just want you to notice that this is the stream that runs through here. And this is Mitchell Street. So the access to this is through this location here and up through this road out to the well site. And there's a subdivision that exists here with that are on individual septic drain fields. So the review that I wanted to go over with you tonight is that we have taken PFAS samples out there at the Mitchell Woods well site since 2016, and there's never been any detection of PFAS or of any PFAS compounds. There's a monitoring well. If you look back just really quickly, I want you to remember these numbers. This is well 5. This is well 7, MW7, that we're going to talk about a little bit. And then there are these wells in between 3, 5, and 6, and then a piezometer number 9. So we've never detected any PFAS in well number 5, which is up near the existing Mitchell Woods production well. PFAS has been detected MW7 on 2 separate occasions, July 2nd, and then we resampled it at 8/16, with lower concentrations measured in the second sample, about half of what we had measured. And I'm going to show you what we've discovered. MW7 is is on the western side. It's near that subdivision. It is 450 feet from the Mitchell Woods production well, and the natural groundwater flow gradient is to the southeast towards the stream. So just pop this up real quick so you can see that. This is the stream that comes through here, and the general groundwater flow directions are, and I'll show you a prelim from the hydro report, but basically comes down through here towards the stream. Everything is moving southeast towards that stream.
Which way does the stream flow, Jamie?
It's a good question. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
I should know that. I apologize. I'd have to ask Ryan because he's been out.
Okay.
But the Mitchell Woods well is permitted to pump as much as 432,000 gallons a day. But the total volume, and this is important for the commissioners to understand, the total volume of water that can be pumped from this well in any calendar year is limited to 45 million gallons per year. And that's based on the amount of recharge that we were able to determine was available to this well. And that's equivalent to about 104 days of pumping at 300 gallons a minute. And why is that important? Is that because, for the most part, the demands that you need to meet for additional source capacity is during the summertime or peak demands. So this would be a peak, what we consider to be a peak shaving well. I mean, in other words, it would shave off the peak demands that you would have from buying water elsewhere. And that was its intention. We have proposed right now to conduct some additional sampling in this well field to include DLM 3, 5, 6, and 7, and the piezometer number 9 to better characterize if the spread of PFAS is throughout. So let me bring that up. So the ones that are highlighted in yellow are the ones that we've proposed to sample in addition. And as part of this second sampling or next sampling round, we had proposed to actually pump this well for 8 hours, because right now the samples have been based on about an hour, a sampling where we take out all a certain number of well volumes out to take a sample of the local water. But if we pump it at 8 hours, we wanted to see if there was if this PFAS increased. But because this is we're also interested in the aquifer. We wanted to know if there's PFAS distributed throughout this entirety of this aquifer. And we know that up here, there's really nothing of, it's pretty pristine. So it is surprising that we saw PFAS in this particular well to a certain extent. Now, the one thing that's kind of important is that the iron and manganese, we've been dealing with sodium and chloride as elevated levels in a lot of the sources that MVD is dependent upon. But if you look at the Mitchell Woods water quality iron, these are water samples taken for a fairly long period of time in our monitoring program. Manganese, iron is low. Manganese is low, sodium is very low, arsenic is very low, pH is low, would have to be adjusted, but anticipated. Chloride levels essentially in 2024 were non-detected. This looks to be a mistake here on that first one, but hardness is great, nitrate is non-detect, VOCs and SOCs. So overall, the water quality of this well is extraordinary. It's very, very high quality water from a standpoint of mineral content. The only thing it looks like you'd have to adjust pH. The PFAS, if I look at the PFAS here, the Mitchell Woods, the well that is the production well has no detections. The proxy well that we've been sampling since 2016, 3 samples, no detections of any kind. And then the well next door to it, no detections. But this is the MW7, and you can see we had PFOS at 84 in the July, and almost half of that in August. I don't know why, but that's something we wanted to. There is a different lab method that was used. I don't think that's the reason. But that's why we proposed to take a look at not only this at a pumping it longer, but also the other localities. Now, I just want to show you, I pulled out the old hydro study, Don, from the commissioners, from the report that we had. And you can see, if I blow this up a little bit here, that the groundwater flow, you can see kind of the subdivision outline here with these little squares of the houses. You can see that there's the groundwater flow here comes down through, like I said, southeast towards the brook. And then, we have, this is non-pumping. So when we're not pumping this well, this is what the groundwater flow looks like. When we pump this well, we see drawdown contours start, to form. And this was after a 5-day pumping test. And you see that we begin to start capturing or seeing an impact on this well number 7. Now, that doesn't mean that the groundwater quality of well number 7 is going to enter into this well. You're getting recharged from a great, 360 degrees around this well. So there's a lot of dilution there. In all likelihood, you would have to pump this, and I looked at this from 180 days. If I take this as a 180-day pumping period, nonstop, consecutively with no recharge, then we start capturing, we would definitely start seeing some groundwater flow migrating towards this well. But under the short-term pumping, one of the things we'd have to probably do is model this well to determine how much water could be pumped from this well without incurring any contamination from this particular area. I don't want to think about doing that until I know whether or not there's contamination or PFAS elsewhere in this aquifer. But then I could do a particle tracking analysis to determine how long it would take or what pumping rates could be done or how many days a year could be pumped without adversely or causing groundwater to actually migrate towards the well and be influenced by that. So, and I only suggest this because Don and others know, Ron and Jill know that we have spent a lot of time in previous years, decades, looking at other sources for the MVD, and this is one of those that still remains a viable source. Its water quality other than this PFAS that we've seen down in this little one monitoring well, is very high and good. And we already know this is a peak shaving well, so we won't be pumping it 180 days consecutively. This would be pumped, probably 30 to 40 days, or not even. It might even be pumped for certain peak days alone. So if the commission still feels that this is a viable option for peak shaving, I wouldn't throw this well out completely, because property is already negotiated in terms of, availability to the MVD. We have a permit that is viable until May of 2027. And we will have to re-permit that well probably a year before the deadline comes up, or work on getting that permit done. If you're going to continue it on. Once this lapses, though, you would have to go through the large groundwater draw permit all over again, which doesn't, in my view, doesn't make sense. But that's something that you would have to consider. So the proposal in front of you, or that you had, was for about $10,000 to go and repump this well for 8 hours. Let me just get back to this a little bit. Would be to repump this well, to pump this well for an extended period, take a PFAS sample, and then pump these wells, all of these, and take PFAS samples. And then provide you with kind of a recommendation as to what might be what the results were, number one, but what we might consider as, is this still a viable well, or would we suggest that it not be considered any further? So that's pretty much all I had. And I'm open for questions at this point.
So that would have to be re-permitted in 2027, you said, Jamie, right?
Correct. Yep. Mm-hmm.
2026.
Yeah, we'd have to start the work probably in 2026, and I don't want you to do that if we start seeing PFAS contamination throughout this aquifer, further along here.
Yeah.
And I think we need to kind of bring this to some level of closure, or, not closure, but at least more understanding of what's going on here.
Right.
Because I don't have any clue as to where the source of this is coming. I mean, I don't want to speculate at this point.
Right. I know we've tabled this project the last several years, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of wondering, do we want to not do this because of that, or do we want to know?
I almost feel like for $10,000, if this is PFAS, we're basically going to throw it out. We're not going to re-permit it in 2027. We're going to walk away from it. It's already not our favorite.
Yeah.
So I think that maybe doing this gives us an answer once and for all to put it to bed or not. Because if it comes back PFAS, it's probably not worth the investment to put filters on it to then use it just to shave peak summer.
Yeah, just for 100.
With the power issues that location has anyway. But I think this might either be renewed or the nail in the coffin. I kind of leaning towards this is going to be the nail in the coffin for this, but I'd rather know about this than waste our money on looking at power options and then find this out later.
And then spend the money to
Correct.
Re-permit it.
Right.
Yeah.
Just throw that out there too. There is, that is in the groundwater management zone. So
Correct.
it
Right.
wouldn't be all borne on us.
Unless it's disputed, which is very likely to be the case. But so that's kind of what
I think we weren't really excited
trade-offs
about this
are.
because of the flow limitations anyway.
That's true.
The hard part, of course, it's challenging to find alternative sources in Merrimack. We've kind of looked through this thing, and this is probably one of the last ones that you would have an independent control on, in terms of your own rates and so forth. But I get it. It's a challenge, no question about it. There are a lot of towns that I know of that would die to have this, but it is what it is. I think that and I'm not looking for additional work because we're swamped, but I think my view is that this this permit is coming up, and if this contamination, this PFAS goes through here, I would definitely ask your attorney to submit this to Saint Cobain as a part of their, possible responsibility. Not that you may not get anywhere with it, but they need to know, and DES at some point probably needs to know as well.
Yeah, and I guess to me, that would have a big impact whether we'd want to move forward on this is if there's going to be a responsible party for the treatment, because if there's not,
yeah,
given all the other, I mean, this just isn't quite enough volume to, I know it's going to shave peak and all that stuff, but it would be good to know if it does need treatment, if that's going to be, whose burden of that treatment it's going to be on. So maybe for those reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to know
what's there, and
then you can make a better informed decision whether or not to go for the permit.
Yeah.
Or up on the permit.
yeah.
So, I mean, what are the numbers as far as, like, say we do what's the return on investment of this well?
Mm.
And what's the payback period?
It's not very good.
It's not very good.
So
It's a smaller volume. It also has power issues of getting three-phase power or converting power at the site. It was not an awesome option, but it's kind of one of the only options we have for a fresh well.
Yeah.
But if it
so if this
has
comes back
PFAS
as-
contamination, then it,
What if it comes back pristine?
Are we
What's the
even
plan?
gonna, yeah, would we even pursue it anyways?
I think it would stay where it is now, being tabled until we're ready to make a decision on it.
How much is the permitting process?
Well, if you redid I don't know what we spent last time to re-permit, it's probably about $30,000 or $40,000 or something like that. But you had to go through a large groundwater withdrawal. Let's say you let it lapse and you had to go through the large groundwater withdrawal permitting all over again, then you're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars to get it to get that pre-permitted. So
And 10 to say hundreds of thousands. Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, I guess
And that's if
what
you
I'm
let
looking
it
for. It's
lapse.
like, where's the payoff here?
yeah.
Yeah. Right now, you've kind of been kicking the can down the road
Right.
with source because you've already got an investment in it. You already have a landowner that's willing, which is very hard, and you've already got a supply that's meaningful. I mean, I know there's probably shades of gray there, but when I say meaningful, 400,000 gallons a day is pretty significant. When you're looking for, that's over 500,000, it's not over half, but almost 500,000 gallons a day of capacity of really good water quality. And if this is able to pump without PFAS, which I think it could for, 30 to 60 days a year, then you've got that peak shave. If you decide that there's a better option for peak shaving, that's something that your engineers are going to have to decide down the road or at some point. I don't think $10,000 is a big enough dollar number. I mean, personally, it just to kind of to keep this alive for at least another year or two. At this point, what are we at 2025? You wouldn't have to make a decision on this probably until the summer of 2026. I'm guessing before we had to re-permit. It's due May 2027. If you were to re-permit this, to renew your permit, you have to have all the things in and permitted by May 2027. So that's 2.5 years away. I don't. But
So we probably have to re-permit it anyway if we wanted to pursue it because it wouldn't be constructed. Like where does the DES consider the source being, is it just the commencement of construction? As long as we start the construction before the permit expires, are we good? I don't know if you know that answer or not.
yeah, I mean, they would prefer to see you pumping water, but you know,
Yeah,
and that's not happening between now and May 2027. I don't see.
yeah, I don't either, right?
But that's why you would get yourself for probably another $30,000 or $40,000 when you do the re-permitting. You would get yourself another 5 years to make that decision. So if you let it lapse in 2027 and you had to go through a large groundwater draw permit, you're probably in it for $300,000 to do it again. So
Yeah.
you know, and I don't know what your other options are, to be honest with you. But if we come back and this PFAS, you know, and all these other monitoring wells, then I'd say you guys know what the answer is.
At least we know what we're dealing with. Yeah.
You're done. But I'm not here to really sway you one way or the other. I just wanted you to be aware of it. And for the investment that you've got versus what you're talking about, I don't think it's really that meaning, you know, it's not much money for what you want, what we get out of it, I think. But
Yeah. I guess, I mean, you know, spending 10.
it's actually 9,300, I think is the
Yeah.
9,300, yeah.
But if that gives us more information to conclusively determine what we do next, I guess it's probably worth it, you know? Yep. So I don't know if anybody else has any questions on that or comments or anything.
What do you think?
Yeah.
If nothing else, is value there. I think to move forward with, maybe with a debt to litigation, if nothing else, possibly.
Yeah.
Yep,
It is something we've invested in.
that's true.
And we did renew the permit some years ago, I remember. Already.
2022, yeah, 2022,
Yeah, so it's every 5 years, right?
right? Yeah, it's May of 2022.
This will also tell us if we need to renew it anyway, right? That was the other piece that we said.
What's that again?
So it'll tell us, like Aaron said.
Yeah.
Right.
Whether or not we need to bother renewing it
Right.
as a potential option going forward, so.
As opposed to going blind and wondering if we should spend that money for that at that time or
Yep.
not, you know? Yeah, all right. I don't know if anybody else has questions or how do we
We need to vote on this?
vote on
Yeah.
approving this?
I'll make a motion to approve Emery and Garrett's change order 1 for Mitchell Woods groundwater quality assessment.
Seconded.
And do we normally say where that's coming out of, the funding is coming from?
Just come out of engineering.
It's just the budget, it's not like any capital reserves, right?
No.
Okay,
Come out of engineering.
all right, so motion by Aaron, second by Ken. Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
No oppositions or abstentions, so that's 4-0-0. Yeah, so that you proceed on with that, and Ron can sign whatever authorizations needs to be signed there.
Okay, very good. Good to see you. Any other questions for me? I'm gonna head into another meeting in a short moment.
No, I think we're good.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll
Thank you.
contact you. Yeah, thank you. Don, I'll contact you tomorrow about some salt issues. Okay.
Yeah, all right,
All right.
that works.
Thank you, guys. Good to see you all.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Okay, I'm gonna figure out how to get out. I'm not sure how to do this. I don't use.
It's okay to leave, right? He's not gonna. Share, right?
Figure that out.
Still co-host.
Where the heck is the out? Oh, here we go.
He's a co-host, but he can log off as co-host.
There
just
we
not
But
as
also in the
host.
meeting.
There he goes.
No, one time he was
He
the,
did
He was
do that.
host,
the main
he was
host.
And he was out of the meeting.
we made him the main host and then he's like, see you later.
It happens. We do that once.
Yeah, that wasn't good. All right, second on the agenda is a discussion of a bill dispute at 8 Sherwood Drive. I assume you are
Yes.
person here for that?
That's Sherwood Lane, yes,
Sherwood,
that's correct.
okay. And what is your name?
Fran St. Peter,
Okay, well, welcome, Fran.
thank you.
We have some of the information in front of us.
You do, okay, great. In going over some previous bills that I had seen, I had kind of got a few of them together and kind of saw something, and I don't know if this maybe plays into it, but usually my water bills are about at most 205, 225 cubic feet.
Is that quarterly or back when it was quarterly or
No,
month?
that's monthly.
That's monthly,
That's
all right.
monthly. I actually, it's funny, I have an October statement here that is for the October information for previous months, and I just paid a bill of 85.47, and that was 3 months back. So then I get the following month in November for October's water usage of 1,370 cubic feet, which is approximately 10,000 gallons or equated to a pool the size of 15 by 30 feet. I live in a mobile home. I've had this happen. I came back here to the water department as soon as I received my bill. They gave me tablets to put into the back of my toilet to determine if that was maybe the problem, if it was an internal problem. I did do that testing, nothing came back. So then I came back here and I think I may have spoken with you, I'm not sure, at the window in regards to what do I do about this? Because it's, I don't know, it seems pretty obvious to me, at least, that I could not be using 10,000 gallons of water in 1 month's period, because then the next month it corrected itself and I went back to having 206. So I can see that there may have been something that was wrong, but I don't know what happened. Was there a problem with the meter? Is it possible? I have a listing of the 4 bills that I had in question: October, November, December, and January. And the only thing difference in those bills is the 1370. Is it possible a 0 was added on to the end of that? And I only used 137? I also have friends, family of 4. They use at most 400 cubic feet per month. Again, if I used it, I really want to know where, because I cannot find it. We also had, I understand the water department does not come out to my location due to the fact that we are a resident co-op. So there is a contractor that does come out, and I believe the gentleman's company name is Howe. And he came out to assess the problem and found nothing wrong. So that's why I'm concerned as to where this water usage went and who's gonna pay that bill, because I live on a limited monthly disability income. And I'm used to paying a bill that's $25. I'm not used to paying a bill that's $75.
How much was that bill that was with the excessive water use in there?
With the excessive water usage and the additional charge for going over
Going over,
1,000, it was $72.77. And I've never paid a bill over $25 for at least 1 month, other than me paying multiple months at one time. And that's only because I'm balancing 1 month of my budget to take care of another bill on the budget.
Right.
And it seems to have gone back. It was the month of October and or November, which I don't understand or see any type of reason why there should be that type of water usage.
So
By
where,
anybody.
where is the meter in the home?
It's
Mobile?
not in the home, it's actually, there are meter pits, they can be anywhere from 20 feet away from the home to, I think some of the mobile homes are 50, 60 feet away from them.
My mobile home
That's like,
that I'm aware of, we have 2 spigots, one for 2 sections, one for 2 houses. And I'm in charge of the double spigot. And with that double spigot, I have a round circular like almost like a sewer cover.
Yeah.
And that's like 20 feet from my kitchen.
And that's where the meter is?
That's where I believe the meter is under that.
And then,
I'm sorry, how would the information that you guys gather, is that, does somebody go out there and handwrite it, or is it, digital?
It's digital, but we took a read, we verified the top was reading the same as the handheld. So one thing with the meter pit is it's water that goes, it's from the main right to the meter. There is a length of pipe that does go from the meter to the home up in. So it doesn't seem like it because it would be leaking if they didn't repair it, but there is a section of pipe that could sit theoretically.
yeah, that's what I was wondering where the meter was.
I mean, it doesn't seem to be happening, but I mean, it could have gone through a hose. It could have been a leaky toilet. I know you're saying it didn't, but it could have been a leaky hose, a hose running. It could have been a leaky toilet. It's water that did go through the meter.
Yeah. So we went out and tried to look, and I saw notes in here that there was no leak observed from our technicians that went out there.
We only observed it from so we looked at the dial on the meter and said, there's nothing spinning. Basically, we didn't
At that time.
observe anything in the. Right.
Okay. And then you're saying that there's, did you have a plumber come to and look and he didn't?
Well, no, within the co-op, we have a company that they contract to come out. As they were saying, we don't take care of that underground, someone else does. And that company is Tom Howe.
Uh-huh.
And he came out and they assessed the whole problem and they were not able to find anything.
Yeah.
So like any like external garden hoses or anything like that might have been left on?
I have a garden hose that I've always had for years and it's there.
Yeah.
But every time I use the hose, I drain it. So I know it's drained. It's not have anything on it. Nothing's turned on.
There's a faucet that is closed when you're
That's
not
right. Yes,
using
it's
it.
a faucet at the edge of the house that is automatic. I close it every time I use it, so I know it's not the faucet there.
So I know in the past, when we knew there was a leak somewhere and the owner didn't know, we haven't given them credit, but that's when there's a known leak. Now, I guess in this case, it's not known that there's a leak. That's a little different. I don't know. Is there something you would, trying to see here, is there a usage number that you feel is appropriate? Maybe an average of the previous readings or something that you would?
And I'm fine with that, or even, like you said, a flat fee of $25, which is the maximum that I've ever paid, I think, here's one. 206 was $26.41. That was the month before.
Right.
And then after that, it's been even smaller than that.
I guess our concern is with a precedent that would be
Well,
set, but it's the same
A
situation.
few months ago, we redid the policy, didn't we?
That's good.
That was for, late fees.
That was for late fees, not for this. Okay,
Oh, yeah.
there was a late fee policy, okay. I remember doing a policy for something and yes,
Right.
So I mean, if there's no leak, how often are meters wrong?
They slow down, speed up.
If anything,
They don't usually
you get
jump like
less
that,
Yeah,
right?
They don't typically jump. They typically would slow down, not speed up.
getting clogged up or something.
yes. Usually when meters are bad, they stop running.
Yeah.
Or they run like a tenth of what they're supposed to run and you go,
So you're getting a deal.
yeah.
But
I find a lot of broken
as a
meters.
single woman living alone, I don't think I could take a shower 3 times a day and 2 loads of laundry and use up that much water.
Yeah, so that's what I'm wondering, is like the only
Right.
explanation is somebody's using your water at night, but it's not like it's October, so nobody's going to the
That's
pool.
that's the thing, it's the
Right?
time of the year.
It's like-
That's what kind of.
Who's doing it?
Yeah.
Too.
And you're not watering your garden
Nope.
in October. So, I mean,
And if you're watering in October, why wouldn't you water it June, July, August, and September, you know?
And it's not that high.
Right,
Yeah,
so it's
it's
like,
it's a number that does
is
stand
there anybody
out.
that doesn't like you that turned on? your votes? Okay, I'm just trying to figure out like what could be.
I mean, the town was just in here
Mhm.
earlier this year or
Asking
last year.
for an abatement of
Was
a
at
leak at
Wasserman
Wasserman
Park, they had a leak. And
And they were asking for an abatement of
we
the
said, well,
layback.
you knew you had a leak. And you just, you know, you did something about it when you found out about it and everything, but it's their infrastructure, so. I think we held steady on that one, but
Yeah.
I live
this
directly,
is,
I live directly behind Shaw's and their
Yeah.
fence has just collapsed on me just like a month and a half ago.
wow.
So I don't know if there's anything they were doing or what, how,
Huh,
whatever,
yeah.
but
Yeah,
But if it went away without anybody doing anything, that's the weird thing. you know?
right.
Yeah. So it makes you wonder if, I don't know, there's just a weird anomaly that happened and went away.
How often do meters actually act up like this? Could it have performed a skip? Because like I said, normally I would see 137. That looks like a great number for me to use in a monthly period, but not 1370 when you put a zero on the end of it.
Yeah.
So the question is, the meter actually shows that is the usage that went through it, you said, right?
Yes.
It wasn't like a,
So the digital number does jive with the manually observed.
Right.
yeah, there's that many gallons that went through it,
Yeah.
or cubic feet.
But didn't the house go underneath and take a look at things?
They did. They checked everything out and they were not able to find anything wrong.
Well, he had told me he didn't climb under. And it was raining the day that he was there and he really couldn't see anything. He said it was pouring out the day. He said,
But it's under a carport where he would
you
have been.
and him pulled the skirt off. and
He did pull the skirt off.
He wasn't gonna go under the unit and shut the valve off, and he really couldn't see anything. But he went down and talked to one of our guys later on that day. We went out the following day, that's when we looked at the meter, we didn't, and there was nothing leaking at that point, but it was raining, he didn't observe anything leaking, he couldn't, but he said it was pouring on, I couldn't tell if it was
Yeah.
anything leaking or not anyways, but I'm going with it wasn't anything leaking.
Yeah, because I would think
In my
that
mind, it was probably a toilet or
November would have been
hose or
outrageous.
something to that.
Yeah.
But
And that's what we saw at Wasserman Park. It continued until the leak was fixed, you
Right.
know, so we knew it was a leak. This is just a weird anomaly. You know, no one's insinuating that there was a leak and it was fixed and no one knew about it. That would be a strange thing, but I mean, this to me seems like a different situation, I guess, than the others. Well, the others, has really only been one other that I'm aware of that last year, but. So I guess,
What is the policy for these types of things? They have to come before the board every time?
typically they come before the board. I don't believe typically the board in the past has not, to my knowledge, given any. But that's totally up to you folks.
how many occurrences have there been in, like, just off the top of your head?
Um,
Someone that could come in and, looking at high reads and stuff, we can walk them through it.
Yeah,
And to figure it out, a lot of times it's toilets. We had
yeah,
one lady that was disputing a $300-something bill. But then in the end told me that her husband had gone outside and seen that the spray on the hose had popped off. So they're frozen. And then
oh, really?
yeah, it's just figuring it out.
Yeah, but usually you find that there has been a leak situation typically.
something, yeah.
Yeah, there's a reason for it.
And we work with them as
Right.
well, and we don't expect it all up front. We will accept a payment plan or something to.
And I also understand that this month, of course, my bill is gonna go up a little because we have to drip the faucets when it gets to single digits
Oh, yeah.
to make sure that the pipes don't freeze. So I'm aware that that's gonna go up this month. But that's really the only fluke that I've ever seen. That's the only time I've ever seen the water bill fluctuate at any time. Is for the winter time to be able to run those faucets as needed. Nothing else has ever been askew for me in my water bill ever.
So is this a little different than in the past that other instances have had leaks? Have you ever had an instance like this where there was a high demand period just for, a short period, maybe one bill, and then it was not found what the problem was, that there was a leak? Is this kind of unique, or has there been other instances where there was a high demand period and then there was no leak found and it went away on its own or something? Do you know what I'm asking?
Yeah, I do, but I almost want to say, I've seen it before. I have kind of seen this before,
Yeah,
but I think it's also kind of determined it was something,
yeah.
it was discovered to be a leaky toilet.
Yeah, I mean,
At that point, but
if all of a sudden you notice, oh wow, my toilet's leaking, I gotta fix that, and you fix it, then you get a water bill and it's high because it was leaking for some time.
it was kind of after the fact.
wouldn't
It was
know.
like, oh yeah, no, that's right. I did have my toilet,
Yeah,
And nothing fixed, no.
No, I've had no problems with anything on it, no.
Nobody else in their neighbors or anybody else that came reported anything.
I mean, in this case, as far as the revenue we're talking about, I don't think it's substantial. I don't think it's gonna do any injustice to the rest of our customers to rebate some amount. So I guess I'd be willing to accept some kind of reduction personally on that.
I mean, yeah, if I had seen like November as being high as well, but not as high, that might suggest to me like, hey, we found a leak and we fixed it.
Yeah,
I'm not seeing that.
yeah,
So it's really weird to me.
right. It helps going to monthly billing because we can catch these things before
Quickly, yeah.
absolutely, yeah.
But you didn't need to,
No.
right?
When you saw it, you
It's a
couldn't
great
find the
job.
problem, right? Yeah.
So that's my only thing. I mean, not saying this is the case. The only thing that I can think of is, yep, I caught a leaky toilet on my own and I fixed it within the same month. So it's not going to roll over to the next bill.
No.
And I'm not going to accuse anybody of that. So
Right.
it's, like you said, it's,
But if someone can get one reprieve on that, and they're not coming in every 6 months with the same problem, then that's a different story too.
so now it's just a matter of precedent.
Yeah. Which is, something to consider. But
A 15 by 30-foot pool, I don't even have room for that in my yard.
Like I said, usually, I mean, it's just a leak somewhere, but they don't fix themselves. So.
Promise me I'll let you know if it turns out to be a sinkhole in the future.
Yeah.
But right now, no, nobody's finding anything.
right. Well, I don't know. What's the pleasure of the board on this?
I'd be fine adjusting. I mean, looking at the track history of the year, I mean, during the summer months, it was like 136, 138, 140. It doesn't make sense being 1370 and
No, something's definitely off. Any recommendation on what an adjusted number would make sense here?
$50 credit would bring it down to 2277.
Which is kind of in line with other ones.
Mhm.
So you want to just do it that way based on a monetary instead of looking at adjusting the volume, just do it by that way. I think it's probably simpler.
Yeah.
Okay. So any pleasure of the board on making a recommendation? Probably do an official motion on this, I think, or
Keep
no?
me on a blast for the next 6 months. I'll let you know if it happens in the next 6 months. Definitely.
Yeah, I know.
Because I'm gonna keep an eye on it now that you've said something, now that everybody's telling me it's nothing. Obviously, I'm
Yeah.
from the standpoint of it's gotta be something as well, but it never happened 2 months, 3 months after that. So that's why I'm kind of like,
Yeah.
is it something or is it not?
And
I was gonna say, we didn't have like freezing weather where like something being frozen is gonna stop it, right, in November. I mean, we've had a pretty warm winter up until this past week, really, right?
Yeah, I think,
But is there a way to monitor?
I think we hit the cold snap after that, didn't
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
think
this was in October, so.
Yeah, this
so-
was for
we?
October.
Yeah,
And that's actually usage from September,
right.
September activity.
yeah, your December is 178, which is a little bit on the high end, but maybe, were you maybe dripping faucets in December at all?
I think so,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Just 11, 12, I get kind of nervous.
Yeah,
Degrees.
yeah. All right, so that makes sense. So that number seems reasonable for December. So I don't know if you guys, if anyone is interested in making a motion to credit $50, then so be it.
So moved.
seconded.
All right. So motion by Scott, second by Ken. Any other questions, comments? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Oppositions? Nobody? Abstentions? Okay, so 400, so that works. $50 credit for that.
Thank you.
You'll see that on your next bill and it'll come in as a credit. So the next bill that comes in, it'll come off of that.
And if you could, please, right now, I just don't have anything available. Could you tell me what the difference is? I'll be in tomorrow to pay it.
It was 72.77 was the bill, right?
Yes, that's
So the
correct.
$50 credit would make it 22.70.
22.77. Okay, it's easy to look numbers together. I do appreciate your time. Thank you.
The digital, I don't know how the digital stuff works. Does that come in here or do you have to go out and actually read it from the street?
Okay.
You'll open up the, we go out, we do a drive-by.
Yeah.
So, but he'll open up the meter.
Thanks for coming in.
Take a read.
Thank you so much.
Have a good day.
Right at the top, and confirm that read right to the handheld. And actually, you can look at the top, there's a little dial on it as well that would spin if there was any flow.
Yeah.
And now you can, the dial wasn't spinning either.
I was just wondering if there's a way to like monitor.
More quickly in real time, yeah.
Yeah, like if it's anything, just like swing by and take a reading halfway through, but.
Well, the meter has a readout, so the homeowner can always read their own meter.
Well, she really doesn't have access to the meter.
Because it's in a pit there.
It's in that, so.
All right. So is that pit not supposed to be entered only by MVD?
Well, I mean, she could get, if she had the wrench to get into, yeah.
Yeah, I know, we don't,
I mean, even just reading with the handheld, I just didn't know if it was like, if somebody's in the area, just kind of check and see.
We can monitor.
yeah, that's a good.
Is it worth it? Right. I mean, if you're there and you think about it, like, hey,
It's electronic, we drive by there all the time anyway, so.
I would have a little harder time if this happened again to,
yes.
you know,
The account will be noted very well.
yeah, all right. All right, so we move on, superintendent's report.
Actually, can we switch?
Oh.
Kristen.
All right, didn't know what you had.
And
Just.
Oh, you want to do the
Thank
budget?
you.
Yeah.
Sure.
Just.
I was kind of thrown off that part.
I'm not going anywhere, so it's fine.
All right, so we'll skip to number 4 right now, which is discussing to move the proposed budget forward to the public hearing as amended at the budget work session that we had on January 22nd of this year. All right, go ahead, Commissioner.
So my estimate for when we did the work session, 1.1. Is where we end up. In today's times is. And it does not require a rate increase, which is even better.
That is good.
Really, the only thing that changed from working documents that you had to this summary is the merit pool.
So basically, you're just looking for us to
Motion
I make
to the public hearing.
motion to move the Board of Commissioners recommended budget for $6,538,953 to the public hearing. So, there you go.
If you were done.
I think I'm done.
And then next would be the budget memo that goes along with it.
All right, well, let's do.
And the budget,
Separate,
you want it separate or the same one?
I guess we can do them together, I don't know.
That doesn't really need to be.
Yeah.
We're gonna, is everybody fine with the budget memo? Or any changes you think need to be made?
It's more of an explanation, it's not a legal
Yeah.
document.
Right. All right, so let's see here on page.
So should we just vote on the budget first? and then
Yeah,
the
let's
memo?
do the budget as you just
Okay.
said. And so it was motion by Aaron, it was seconded by Scott.
Yep.
So all those in favor of moving the budget forward signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Right, that's 400, no oppositions, no abstentions. As far as the memo, it looked like it was, is there a typo on the top of page 4 of 6? Page numbers are in the bottom right corner.
Correct.
So it's, the second line, more chemicals needed for treatment or less. It should say if wetter years.
It should, yep.
Okay. So chemicals, yeah, I was looking at that number and, so that was adjusted higher from what we used last year because we have like more treatment plants now online or something, or is it the price of the chemicals? That caused, so it was like 701,000 for 24-25 and it's going up to 747. So just wondering,
That is based on the pumpage. And with this year, we had done, I think we, the delay of 2 and 9, because it actually came forward, just finished at the end of the year, so.
because what was
we did a
thrown,
portion of 2 and 9 for this
So
year's
it's all
budget.
4 years.
So this year, for 2026, everything is in board
all right,
And along with the cost, I mean, it's based off.
Yeah.
and the cost,
It's the
yes.
cost.
yeah, because I was looking at our revenues that you covered at the beginning of the meeting and the chemical was under budget. So I was wondering, but now, so we were under budget for this year's budget, but yet we're asking for a higher number for next year's budget. See what I'm
You,
saying?
you have to budget for worst case scenario.
Right, and we have to budget for the summer because we have to buy chemicals for the summer. Because that's when it gets hot, but you can't,
Yeah, well, this
buy
year started in
chemicals.
July.
right,
So you're buying
you would have
them
already
earlier.
bought the chemicals, so you're probably buying more chemicals at the end of the fiscal year than you are at the beginning.
Okay,
That would be my
So if
theory.
you look at like 23-24 is a perfect example. That was thinking all 3 would be online that year. That didn't happen. And it was the wettest summer ever. So we have to budget for worst case scenario, potential drought
a
and
drought,
so
which is
forth.
pumping a lot of water.
Pumping.
And it ended up that we didn't need half as much chemicals as
And-
we thought.
This fiscal year, if you remember, we had a couple wells down for a long period of time because of pump issues. And we were buying water during that time
Wholesale.
period that we wouldn't have, we would have been using chemicals during that time.
Okay, that makes sense. I wasn't thinking about
That's true.
the pre-buying too, the timing of
Right,
that.
and they were, I think they were down for like 2 months or something, or 6 weeks. It was a long time.
Any other,
So,
I tried.
sorry, what was the, did you say if or in?
If wetter years.
If or in?
I think it's in.
maybe it's in,
Is it in
Less
It should be in.
or less?
in.
For what are you?
oh yeah, in wetter years?
in.
Yeah, and then, just for that, you're missing an S on chemical in the chemicals in the last sentence there.
Chemicals.
Yeah, good catch.
Okay,
So are you allowed to make just, non-consequential updates if you see them? after we move this?
Yeah,
Just in
this-
case,
Yeah, like,
Yes.
that doesn't change the meeting, yeah.
just making sure.
Yeah, with, as amended, so you vote for it.
Right.
Oh, no, I mean, like even after.
Well, I think we only approved the budget itself. I don't think we approved this memo, right?
It's just a
Why we
memo.
did it
No, we
separate.
just-
Yeah,
Back.
Right, that's why we separated them.
Okay.
But if there's anything else in here that you see, now's the time to bring them up.
This says, are we really at James Master Cola this year instead of high school? I'm checking.
It took me 3 times to get that MCAT class.
Are we gonna be in the APR or the Smith Gym?
APR.
For the annual meeting,
Yes.
Yeah.
is it hold enough people?
What?
Is it
Yeah,
hold enough people?
yeah, that,
I mean, I probably would have shown up in high school.
that's,
We probably could be in the lobby of
I like that room.
that
the best.
room.
I like that room the best, actually,
Good.
the APR.
What's the upper L?
It's gonna be busy.
Is it gonna be busy?
We just,
You've not been to one of these, have you?
we just need a social media post that says.
We broke records in 2018 with 300 and something people.
Yeah, in the little theater,
I think
wasn't
that
it?
was-
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was-
For me.
PFAS.
For the record, you can go back and watch that meeting. It's very fun. I have.
Yeah, so if no one else has any other questions on here or.
Can I just
grammar or
ask a question? If we don't have any write-in ballots or any that are done previously, like the pre-voting or whatever,
Absentee ballot?
absentee ballots, if we don't have any absentee ballots, do we have to wait however many hours it is? Or is that only for absentee ballots? Because last year we had 2 absentee ballots and I'm pretty sure it was my husband and your wife.
Yep.
So let's not do that this year. Okay?
I'm not running, so.
That's true. So I just, oh yeah, you were running that. So yes, just to know. To the commissioners, do not have your spouses do absentee ballots because if no one else does it, we don't have to wait to.
Well,
Don't do it. Because it was like 2
once we might
spouses.
know who's running, then you can have that conversation. All right, do I hear a motion for this approval of the 25-26 budget memo as amended?
I'll make the motion.
All right, motion by Aaron,
Seconded.
second by Ken. Any other questions, comments? So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Hey,
400, no oppositions or abstentions. Sounds good. So that's good for your,
I am good, thank you.
have a good night.
Have a good evening.
any action items that you might need to chime in
Just the
on?
software update.
It works.
There's no update.
Okay. All right, that works.
Budget land.
See ya, Kristen.
Night.
All right, so where we go back to,
Superintendent report.
Does always get pushed around.
I know.
It's gonna go back down.
at least you're in the
We
front.
probably, maybe we should move him up to Brandon or Kristen.
I think I do plan on moving it up there probably next time, but we.
But we can have- We'll keep having people that'll bump you.
It's good, you might answer questions.
So, yeah.
Is your superintendent report in the packet? No.
It is.
It is.
The heck is it? Is it?
It's before,
Just one page.
I don't know, I might.
After that.
All been shuffled now, so.
Right after Cahill, the 8 Sherwood
and
Drive.
go up. Nope, you're too far because the budget was after that.
Oh, yeah. I was thinking all right, go ahead. I'll stop talking now.
So under water quality, I had a lead service line inventory. We had 65 requests for lead sample bottles. Out of that, we had 41 have not been picked up at this time, and 6 of the ones that were picked up have not been returned. We've had 18 results, 3 hits, 2 have been remedied, and 1 pending a resample. We've had 61 non-lead service lines.
Oh, really?
And so out of the inventory, let me rephrase that, the 61 non-lead service lines and 6,550 48 unknowns, that number will come down.
So this is a total of the inventory that
This is
you're.
the total of the inventory.
So there was a letter that went out, what, a week or two ago? One of my neighbors asked me, not my neighbor, but the next street
A
over,
while ago.
about asking, when did that go out?
Months.
Oh, was it that long?
Yeah, it was beginning of December.
Okay, well,
Was it December? I thought it was,
it's not a couple
It
months.
was definitely, it was well before Christmas. We had people coming in on the 22nd picking up bottles. I just remember that date for some reason.
So if someone didn't get one, it's because they were excluded because the facility, their house was built.
No, everybody.
Later or
got one. It was
something?
It was a
Townwide.
customer
Really?
mailing, because we didn't have a lot of inventory at the time, and we also had to
Weird.
offer
I
everything.
don't know if I
I
got
didn't
one.
get one.
I don't think I got one.
Yeah.
Because only one neighbor on the next street over and their properties were built like in the 80s. So they could possibly have lead. Like my house was built 2005, so I don't think it could possibly have
Was
lead.
it a letter or postcard?
It's a letter, right?
it was a letter.
Yeah, and it went out from our system. It didn't go out through 120 water, so nothing was excluded.
Really? It might have come in and I don't remember.
It went out to everybody that's an MVD customer, not hydrant only customers.
Yeah.
Would it have gone out electronically to people who use the electronic system? Or would it have all been hard mailed?
No, it's our, no, it was snail mail.
Everybody, even new bills?
Mhm.
I don't remember getting one either.
I think I got one.
All right, because I was wondering if it only went to
I didn't
those
read it.
houses that were,
But I remember seeing something about lead.
when Brian was here doing his presentation a few months ago, I think he said like you're able to sort of exclude some properties if they were built recently because lead was not
We had,
allowed.
That'll be the next letter that goes
Yeah.
out. We'll be able to.
All right,
this was the notification letter that EPA says has to go out by this date,
yeah.
and we included bottle water stuff on there too.
So,
So we have to offer bottles to anybody that wants them, whether they're on Bailey Court or something like that. We still have to provide a bottle if they ask for one.
If it's tested positive, is it up to the customer to fix it or is the MVD fixing it?
Well, so far, we didn't have any lead service lines.
Right.
We had 3 detections. One of them, the woman took the sample from a extra bedroom jacuzzi tub in that bathroom, and chit chat, figure things out. New construction, new main line on the mainline extension on Jason and Brett Bryant. There's no way. I mean, so anyways, they said, well, it could be interior plumbing.
yeah.
The faucet was lead.
Yeah.
Figure that one out. And then another one, the gentleman, he had PEX all throughout the house.
Yep.
So he took the sample right after the meter. So there was a slight hit on that one. We went out, switched out the meter, retested, and it's fine.
Huh.
Because the meter was from 2002. So as if we're seeing any of these, we're just automatically switching out the meter or looking at the age of the meter and switching it out. So we're just waiting for one more, and all 3 of them will be explained, and these new results will go in place of the ones that have hits. So we just keep the database clean.
So when I read in the letter, it said that the customer has the option of asking for a test, no cost, right? And so they have to come and pick up a sample bottle and then bring it home. Is there instructions about like where to take a sample and all that stuff, all right?
And if it's the written instructions when they come in, either whoever's at the window goes over it with them again.
Is it that 6 to 12 hour period of
60
time?
hours. So they just go when they request a bottle order, it goes to Shelley. Shelley puts it onto the list. She makes the bottle, sends a notification back to them saying your bottle order is ready. We log that into the spreadsheet. We've got date they requested, date they picked up, dropped off, they went to the lab. Lab results came back. When we notified them, we've got a whole spreadsheet
Okay,
going.
all right, good. You just answered a bunch of questions that I had here. Good. Okay.
Okay, sampling. So last week we we did a bunch of sampling. We did our UCR5, quarterly compliance along with our normal PFAS and media and quarterly distribution PFAS sampling.
Oh, yeah.
144 sample bottles total.
Wow.
You guys are busy. It was a long day.
2 long days.
2 long days.
Tuesday, Thursday.
Were you sick of each other?
No, we bought me coffee.
Oh, okay, that's nice.
It was a free coffee day
It
too.
was free coffee day. We got there and then they charged us, we paid it. Anyways,
The PFAS pilot program, the pilot study that we're gonna be doing at 4 and 5, that should be shipping this week. It's originally supposed to be shipping the beginning of January, but I guess they were moving their office or something, and so the week of the 27th, so.
This is that separate skid off to the side that you're talking
Yeah.
about? The sixth column or whatever, the sixth test?
Yes, from Dexor.
I can't remember.
Yes, I think it's Dexor.
Dexor, if I'm saying it correctly.
Right.
And then once we have that in, it's gonna be, I was calling Bluefin.
Blue leaf,
Blue Leaf is gonna,
not green leaf. Not the tea.
Yeah, you're.
they'll build it.
That'd be good, because we've been kind of waiting for this for forever time. Yeah. All right.
So under maintenance, PFAS, I nothing to report on that. Treatment facilities, the treatment staff, we work on regenning the green sand filters at 7 and 8.
So was that done with like caustic, or is it not just chlorine, is it?
Potassium permanganate. if I'm
Oh,
saying
yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. Okay.
Purple.
All
I
the
should have known
rust
that.
goes into the basin.
And then they,
Okay.
one filter at a time.
So how long is that gonna be down? Is the whole plant down during that time, or
The whole plant's not down. They'll do one filter
just
at a
separate?
time.
Okay.
Separate out.
Okay.
And leak repair, maintenance and slash mainline slash entrance. We did a leak on Turkey Hill Road on 114, entrance leak. And they did a hydrant repair on Back River Road. We just happened to find it. It was must have got hit or something, but it could have got hit by a plow or something. But it
Yeah.
was broken.
Huh.
Under administrative, PFAS water main extensions. I've submitted the comments to Underwood Engineers for Gerard Mulliken. The town is gonna get their review in by the end of the month. And the plans, we were originally waiting for the town to make their review where they couldn't get them done until the end of the month. We talked to Terry from Underwood. I said, let's just get it off to New Hampshire DES because they're gonna have different reviewing different things.
Yeah.
So I said, let's just get it off to DES.
DS probably doesn't really know or care about what specific town
The
requirements
towns
they
are
might
gonna be on the
want.
Way.
try the pavements.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TS isn't gonna care about the pavement.
So I said, let's get it off to them and I should be expecting plans this week for Mason and Farmer.
Good.
St. Cobain work, the water main work, Cadell and Sons. They're waiting on a change order from St. Cobain, but they pretty much just have plumbing stuff left to do inside work. And SUR Construction, there was 5 more entrances added to their stuff, and they're planning on the spring. I did get an invite from fire. They're going to start working hazard mitigation plan. It's due to be revised by July of 26. It's adopted 2021. All town departments would work with NRPC on it. And my thought would we have added to the mitigation plan, groundwater contamination. It'd be a really good time to get sodium chloride added in on that. And possibly PFAS. I think if nothing else, wastewater is going to, you're going to start seeing on that end for wastewater. Training. We are hosting a class on emerging contaminants, PFAS, through Granite State Rural Water Association on February 13th. Class will be down at the distribution warehouse with a tour to follow at the 1229 treatment facility. And the salt letter is in your packet. If no comments, that'll should be going on this week. It's not on there. Tomorrow I have Kristen and I don't know. Never got added in. Kristen and I are going to a training in Concord, the New Hampshire Regional Cyber Defense Training.
We're on a waiting list and they both got on. I didn't.
Kristen got on it, and I was on the wait. Jill and I were on the waiting list, and I actually got in. So Primex for that tomorrow.
You want to look at that salt letter now,
Yeah, well,
commissioners,
it's
and just while it's on the table here, and just see if there's any questions anybody had on it.
far down, is it?
Additional information, the first one.
Yeah.
And if I may ask, do you like how this was set up?
Yeah, it was kind of similar to the previous letters.
Right.
What are you talking about?
I'm sorry, superintendent's report.
Oh, yeah.
I think the nice thing is it doesn't feel rushed, because it's always at the end.
Yeah, that's true.
It does kind of like giving us to in paper form, it does kind of ruin all the good surprises.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I went through the letter. It looks fine by me. So there's a questionnaire here that we're asking to have people fill out. Is that right?
Yeah, so we've joined our salt reduction letter, and Amy's team put together the questionnaire. And that's gonna be for the watershed.
Right. And I do see there's some copies of site plan violation for salting properties that were supposed to not have salt on them. And I'm surprised to see it's the entire plaza that actually has that restriction. I wasn't aware of that before.
So
Were you?
this was not us
That was,
reporting. They went out.
The town?
They went out to this on their own. They showed up in our email. So they're
Really?
they're doing it on their own.
That's awesome.
It is awesome.
I know we've been spending a lot of time driving around and doing the legwork.
Yeah.
Wow.
and I'm still trying to get those
Um,
video off my
and
phone.
I think Colleen was saying that they were gonna put together a list in community development of the
Yeah.
properties that have the salt restriction and what the restriction is, so that they're more aware of it. Like when they go out to do violations and stuff like that.
It's funny, we could just send them a spreadsheet. Dave and I went down, we spent days down there.
Yeah,
There's some.
I'm sure, but it's.
Yeah. yeah. So yeah, Colleen was working on putting
So
that together.
this plan that is being referenced that has the salt restriction looks like, I think it looks like it includes all the properties on Dobson Way. The McDonald's, the liquor store. Some stuff that's built looks like a little different than what's designed here, right? But
Yeah,
I'm glad to see this because there was a discrepancy in the wellhead protection area on two maps. I think I was talking about this the last meeting. Where one map looks like the wellhead protection area went all the way up to Dobson Way, and then the other one went down Continental Boulevard a few hundred feet, several hundred feet. So it's good that this is capturing that property because I think it could be in the wellhead protection area. It's on one of those maps.
And I guess even if it's, I mean, it's close enough.
if it drains towards, yeah, you know
Right,
what I mean?
but it still has the site restrictions, so they should be. Abide by it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, I've seen that, one, tenant over there had to build new sidewalks because there was so much salt going down, and it just like
Yeah, they just.
obliterated. They had
And
to,
they turn into a mess. Yeah, I've seen
Yeah.
projects like that in like Rochester and they're just like, and they just,
yeah, it was.
Yeah. The one thing I was saying, I thought about the letter is it says there's directions to do the survey below. Is that something that's gonna be added after? It says this
What are you saying?
provide about the survey. It says follow the directions below for easy access to, oh, the survey is just on the website.
I
It
think
doesn't
so.
look like there's any directions for it. Fact sheet, PowerPoint, and other useful information.
So references our website.
So is there a way that we could put, what are those things called?
Link, a deep link.
No, well, because this is gonna go out as a letter.
Yeah.
So is there a way we could put one of those, you scan it with your phone and it
Oh,
takes you right to the
QR?
survey? Yeah, those things.
Or is it right on our front page of the website?
Do that. It's gonna be a.
Right on, flashy on the front of the page.
I was just thinking, because that would be something you could just stick on here that would print on the letter, and people could just scan it and say, you know,
That would be,
like a survey, say survey link,
Yeah.
and put it in a little box right here and,
would be friendlier if we're capable of doing that. I don't know.
Good.
I think making those,
What else was?
I don't know how to make those, but I'm pretty sure they're free. You could just shove them in, yeah, I don't,
We did it on the,
yeah, I just thought that would be a good way to do it.
service line letter, we did it on that.
Well, that and people could, yeah, just right on their phone, they scan it.
I'm not tech savvy, but I can do those things.
It would make it more friendly,
Yeah, if the
Definitely
link
would.
went right to the survey.
because even if people have to actually type in mvdwater.org, that might be too much to do and they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Whereas if they just point at it and go,
Point your camera.
can you see if that can be done?
Absolutely. We did it on the lead service line letters.
Oh, good.
Yep.
Good suggestion. All right, so that was all, I think, roundabout way of under the superintendent report, right? Okay, we already did number 4, moving the budget. Number 5, this local source water protection grant to install security cameras.
Yes, so after months and months and months, we get close together. There's the amount, we're doing 9 locations, that's boost office, warehouse, boosters, wells, every place.
Looks like you got all plans here showing where they're going and everything too, right?
Well, so the total amount of the quote was 42,683 for all those locations. When we applied for the grant, we could, it's sawdust, you apply for a $20,000 grant, but you have to match 10 of that. So you're really only getting a $10,000 grant. But in the approval letter, they offered us 6,508,
Yeah, 508.
yeah. So for that, we would need, yes, 6,508, so we're going back and we need a certificate of authority that Don would sign saying that Ron's gonna be the executor of the documents, and the same thing we do for every other grant, but now it's for this one. So that we can accept, and then it's gonna go to governor and council. And once that's approved, then we can start work on it.
So it was what, 6,500 they offered us
Yes.
towards that 42 something thousand?
So we didn't get a grant for like the whole thing. We're just getting this, but we don't have to, we can just use this amount of money to start.
Only, I
That's
want to say
it.
it was what, 23,000 qualified?
Right, because it had to be for source water protection, so it couldn't be the offices or warehouses,
Gotcha.
has to be the wells, can't be the boosters. So, yeah,
Someplace Homeland Security doesn't give a grant or something to protect the
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, so 22,085 qualified.
22.
And then again, we applied for the 20, but we would have to come up with 10 of that, so most we would get is 10,000, but the 6,508 is what they're offering.
Better than nothing.
Take what we get.
For, it's already fully budgeted for, so this would just go with, I'd say it. Unanticipated, not unanticipated funds, whatever goes against that cost.
So this kind of covers everything you really wanted, right? All these cameras, and we're not skipping out on something for any reason that we don't want. We,
No, we remember in this, it was part of the CIP we put in there, or.
yeah, it's like 50 grand, I think.
50 grand, but yeah, no, it's covering everything, and it would
Yeah.
even covering like well 6, because it's so remote.
Yeah, I saw that in there.
With well 3, we're trying to cover everything.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a
So,
motion there for.
yeah,
I move that the Board of Commissioners of the Merrimack Village District accept the source water protection grant in the amount of $6,508 to assist with the funding of security cameras at MVD wells. The grant is contingent upon approval of governor and council.
seconded.
all right,
get
motion
the
by
reading.
Aaron. Second by Ken. Any questions, comments? Seeing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. No oppositions or abstentions, that's 400. That works. And, sign that. All right. Great, thanks. Okay, so we're moving on to number 6, which is the public hearing for the annual meeting, where decide where the public hearing for the annual meeting will be held. I think we did it here last year, right?
Yeah.
In this room?
Yeah.
Because the several years before, we were doing it in the little theater of the high school, it was like 2 or 3. No one showed up one time. I remember asking the general public if they had any questions, and there was literally nobody there.
Have like 2 gentlemen that came last year.
Yeah, I think so.
There might have been.
Yeah,
Yeah, 2 gentlemen, it's not.
So I think we set up chairs in here.
Yeah.
I don't foresee us having a big crowd. I don't know. That's kind of the catch-22 if all of a sudden 30 people show up.
Oh, well,
There's no
Still have
hot
plenty of
issues,
chairs.
right?
no, has anybody, has anybody put in a warrant article? No.
It's all the basic ones, there's nothing contentious.
Yeah, that's a good
Well,
point.
that's, I mean, if somebody outside here added wanted
Yeah.
to.
Petition, you mean, like a petition?
Yeah.
Yeah, just more down.
February 14th.
So-
Through the 14th to the 5th.
That's a good point.
The town, had a couple of those last year and.
If something comes in petition, which I'm not aware of anybody asking me about anything of concern. But if there was something that was contentious, maybe we'd have to reconsider at the last minute somehow. I don't know, but for right now, I don't see that it's gonna be any different than it was the last few years where very little audience came.
Yep.
So I'd say let's do that, if that's okay with, if that's what you guys feel too. What do you?
Yeah, no, I think
All right.
it's fine.
Yeah.
We can put some chairs out.
I mean, what do we got there? We got at least 15, 20 chairs there or something, right? I don't know if we can fit them all, but if that was the case.
Can we have
We get seating for what?
can you reserve a backup just in case?
No, because it's gonna be a public, you gotta notice the
Yeah,
public
you can
hearing of
set
where it's
everything
gonna
up,
be.
Okay.
But people can also, I think we also put we put the Zoom info on it too,
And now, because we're having it here,
Oh, that's
right?
right.
We can put Zoom info on it, so if people don't wanna be here, they could be there,
and we couldn't do that in the little theater.
No, it wasn't capable.
right? Because it's not cabled for public
I
access,
definitely remember looking into that. We couldn't do it.
so. Yeah, like last year, I think we had 2 gentlemen that came and that was it.
All right, so I don't know if that we need a motion on that, right? I think we're all in agreement. Keep it in this room. All right, so where are we on now? Number 7? The draft warrant articles. And, the only thing I see is Article 1 says to choose 2 parentheses 1 commissioners.
I didn't put them in the packet.
Okay.
Thank you.
But it's, so that's for a 3-year term. That's Kenny's seat.
Yeah.
And then Article 2 is the 1 commissioner to continue to complete the last year of a 3-year term, which is currently being Scott's seat. Because you sat in for John when you left, so you gotta finish off that 1 more year of that 3-year term, basically. Yeah, so I think that one reads fine. I didn't see anything else in here that I was,
The rest of this language,
It's exactly the same function.
it has to be, it's DRA. So just copy and paste and put in the different amounts, so it's exactly what DRA wants to see. And these have already been submitted to DRA as.
all these numbers jive with what I see in the budget and everything, so. I think we're good there, so do we need any kind of formal approval of any of this? I don't think so, right?
No, it was to get them in front of you.
Yeah.
The next copy you'll see will have the
Explanation.
explanation.
Yeah, those are the ones that needed to be worked on because, about the emergency part. After that.
We need a vote to move this to the public hearing as printed.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, just thinking about that.
I'll make a motion to move the warrant articles to the ballot as amended. Or to the public hearing as amended.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Aaron, second by Scott. Any other questions, comments?
Yeah, no, I'm thinking about it, because we always have the recommended by the BOC 000. We do that now, or we do that after you get.
I like the public
comment?
hearing.
I think it's
Because this is going to the public hearing as a document.
Oh, yeah, then it shows, then it shows,
Oh, yeah, so maybe we have to vote on them before it.
Yeah, and maybe at the February meeting. No, because we'd want to hear public comment first, so that if there was any amendments, then you would make those changes.
And then
and
put it
vote
to the
them
ballot.
to The annual meeting,
So we shouldn't put the recommended yet.
right,
After the,
after the public hearing.
After
the public
After
hearing.
The public
Okay.
session and vote, take your vote.
Intake for the recommendations. Gotcha. That's right.
All right, so do we still want to just approve this going to the
Yes.
public hearing then?
Yes.
You made the motion? Okay. So all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, that's 400, no oppositions or abstentions.
Along those lines too, just so you're aware, so the public notice went out for the filing dates and the annual meeting. It's going to the paper on Sunday. They only had that one printed edition now. So, it's been added to the MVD website. It's on our doors, town hall, post office, library. We put it out on Facebook. So I think we've got it everywhere that we can right now.
Yeah, so
And if Scott wants to continue his seat, he has to fill out the form.
Yep.
To run.
Yep, within those filing date periods.
And that's February 5th to the 14th.
14th.
So I got this off the website. It says 5th. So if it's the 4th,
It
I
is
want
the
to change it. All right, there you go. Okay,
Yeah, so Scott, if you just stop in, I can bring in $1. All you have to do is sign, that you are you, that you're a US citizen, that you're, the same thing you did last time.
Did you say bring in $1?
Yes. Yeah, there's a fee, filing fee
just to make
to
sure.
run for.
just make sure you got skin in the game.
Yeah, seriously.
I don't even know how.
He's gonna.
Make sure you're not running
$1?
frivolous- reasons.
I get my next stipend with,
He's gonna come in with some paying pennies.
I want that reflected in my W-2 next time.
not on my tax report. tax filing.
He's gonna have to pay $1 the year after that too. Poor guy. It's expensive.
Well, no, there's 2 seats open.
You're gonna run for both.
Yep, there you go, yeah.
You can run for the 3, you don't have to run for the 1, right?
That's true.
Oh, you could. That's very interesting. It's an interesting thought.
Wait, what are you saying now? There's gonna be,
He could run for the 3-year position instead of the 1 year left on his seat.
I guess you could.
I just feel like no one's gonna run for the 1.
They're separate ballots, aren't they? You don't,
No, it's one.
There's
ballot.
2 warrant articles on 1 ballot.
Yeah.
oh, so the top 2 vote getters are the number 1 vote? How do you know which one is which?
Well, because if you can put your name in on both of them, you might end up running for 4 years.
So what?
Certain consecutive terms or sentences.
What if somebody doesn't run for like the 1-year position? Like, what happens?
It's vacant.
Vacant.
And the board can appoint somebody.
Gotcha.
You just went through this when you were, didn't?
Yeah.
You just had to do it recently, didn't you?
Yeah, but I ran for my 2-year seat. I ran.
Oh, 2.
You were appointed and then the next year
You
you had to
maintained the
run for
seat.
the last 2 years.
Yeah, so I ran for
So
my
it's kinda what
2-year
he's
seat.
doing.
I didn't run
There's
for
only
you.
one seat Anyway, though.
I didn't run for you and Wolf's 3-year seat.
Right. Right, there you go.
All right. So let's move on to the minutes.
When people come in,
Which one are they running for?
Yeah,
I'll make sure that that's on the form too.
or you just put them under.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right. All right, so the minutes, there's 2 of them here, the non-public and public minutes for December 16th.
Dawn just texted me and said, please unseal non-public before acceptance. No need to be sealed because they ended up being so brief.
Okay. Do we want to do that motion to unseal the non-public meeting minutes? The body of which says a non-public meeting of the Board of Commissioners was conducted Monday, December 16, 2024 at 5:29 PM. 2 Greens Pond Road. Does it say,
Just says it's
Discussion with legal counsel regarding pending PFAS litigation and deadlines.
that's what I wanted to read. So that's the body of the minutes. So yeah, it's not really. So I guess we can unseal those. There's no
Yeah.
harm.
A motion to unseal those?
All right. Motion by Scott.
Seconded.
I heard
I
Ken
know you
before I
have
saw you.
Ken.
Motion by Scott, second by Ken. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, 400 on that. And
Motion to approve minutes?
yeah, we can do them,
Do them together.
Just, you want to do them together?
we can do them together. I don't know that anyone has any, the only one question I have is on the regular minutes, page 2, line 1. Estimates for warrant articles for fiscal year 23 are listed, 800,000 and 200,000. Is that what we wanted to talk about, 23, or was that,
That's where the funds are coming from that year.
okay. All right, as long as you're sure it's 23.
Yeah, I had Kristen, look at that.
All right. So then I think I'm good because I didn't have any other corrections, so there is no correction there to be made. Anybody have any corrections on any of the minutes, I guess? Because if not, then we can do them together. So if no one has any corrections to offer, we can approve the public and non-public minutes of December 16,
So moved.
2024.
Second.
Motion by Ken, second by Scott. Questions, comments? No? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 No opposition or abstention, so that passes 400. That brings us to action items. We're looking at items dated in the last column for January. I think you said, these are the ESRs. I don't know if I saw that in the packet.
It was in the packet.
Was it in there?
Yep.
Okay, anybody have any questions on any of those? If not, we can, one, the next one is item 43.
What do you want to change number 2 to?
Oh, yeah.
Quarterly, right?
Yeah, so I guess it would be, changed to April. Yep, thanks for catching that. So number 2, last column changes to April. The next one to be considered is the monthly one, number 43, ongoing salt mitigation committee meetings. Any update on that?
Yeah, actually, I was talking with Jamie on Friday. We're going to send out a proposal for the next stakeholders meeting, not the core group.
Okay. All right, so,
To get a schedule.
yep. Excuse me. So we'll keep that one monthly. The next one for January looks like it's down on number 87.
You got 79.
Nope, I missed one
I
there.
think the Ron did
Yeah,
in
I forgot
his
that.
superintendent report.
That's right. So that's covered. 87 salt reduction letter, just covered that earlier tonight. When is that anticipated to go out? Like,
This week.
okay, great.
What do you want to change 87 to?
Well, we're probably not doing another one this winter, I'm guessing. This is just for
Probably.
the salt reduction letter, right?
So maybe
So July,
September,
the next year, maybe,
Early enough, you think? Yeah.
or,
goes out in October. Why?
well,
What about
Start on
like
it.
September? Because it goes out in October. July is a little,
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. So
I kind of want to talk about salt in July.
number 87 instead of January, bump that out to, let's say September.
September.
All right. The next one, 88. PFAS filtration media alternative vendor plan. That's the pilot testing. You covered that. So we're good there. Number 95, water line extensions. Ron covered that in his superintendent report. So the last one is number 100, cybersecurity updates. And I think, do we have anything on that? What did,
We're gonna,
oh,
The training.
we got the training and we also,
we're gonna talk about it in February.
we did figure out,
Next budget work session,
yes,
Yes.
the Adam group
the
stuff.
4th.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it on February 4th, when we would have had the third.
oh, yeah. All right, so that's quarterly. You want to, we'll just change that out to April then in the last column. Everybody good with that?
Superintendent report makes
So-
this goes so fast now.
Sorry, I was gonna cover on old business, but back to 90, when we were talking about the budget, we did talk about the maybe not hold off so long on the solar and actually investigate that.
Oh, yeah.
Because the electricity cost increases that are coming from a priority perspective, should we move that up the list?
I think it's on the,
Oh my gosh.
I think yeah, that's number 90. We had it for like April after it was done to revisit it.
Yeah, what was the last update on that?
Oh, yeah, those gentlemen in from, the company name. And we've got a list of questions.
No, the solar panels.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay, that was before I got here then.
yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
I think it
went
was.
to,
I thought there was something else after though, too.
we did, we went to,
oh, yeah, you've been here.
yes, we never got information back from
No.
them. We were like, kind of looking to see if we could do something on our own, not doing that,
Not using those guys.
Yeah.
We bought the panels.
We don't have income tax credits because we don't
Right.
file income taxes, but if, does it make sense just to generate our own power and save grid power?
Yeah, we should at least be able to look and do a forecast to see like what's the payback period, is it worth doing investment, that type of stuff, just because we saw in the budget numbers that the numbers are going up, so.
Yeah.
We did talk with a gentleman and he went out, discussed all the sites and he's figuring it out and said he was gonna get back to us with pricing. I followed up and he said he'd get back to us with price again.
So we need to find somebody else to talk to, maybe at least two.
Yeah, they were recommended, but
Yeah,
Over at the facility down the road, did they look down there?
Maintenance.
That was one
Yeah.
of those areas we looked at was, we thought because of the roof space, it would
Yeah.
be nice. In proximity to the, I don't know if the power lines made a difference, but we had the space to building and all of that.
yeah, so
Yeah, you can do like a car, at my work, they,
covered parking,
yeah,
yeah, I was thinking that too, it's like, is there anywhere you could use covered parking, but I mean, that out here is probably not the best.
but over there, it's open.
Yeah.
They would get plenty of sunlight.
Or do like
On the roof.
Or you can do a carport, but it's solar panels.
The only thing I would
Protected.
suggest, that if you do it, make sure you have something to drain the water and the ice, because at my work, they didn't do that, and it can be a little nightmare in between walking.
So
So,
you get snow.
You need some.
yeah, they snow
Slide
on top,
off.
yeah, and then
So-
ice
Not on
freeze.
people's cars and stuff, is it?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
So anyway, the discussion was, should we, instead of waiting till April, keep moving on this instead of waiting,
yeah.
just due to the increase?
Update.
I did get a letter and I gotta dive back into it. There was Kearsarge Energy. I don't quite understand it, but it was solar credits and all of that as well.
They should be able to explain it all too. I mean, I don't know if there's Granite State, there's New England Solar,
Yes,
there's a bunch.
I just need to follow up. I haven't
Yeah.
just follow up on it, but I,
Do you want to just
I think-
put it for next month and just update us on what you've done, even if
Yeah.
people aren't getting back?
Yeah, I think we could just put it to April for after budget and election stuff was done. That's, I think, why it got pushed
Yeah,
to
that's
April.
true.
Right, but seeing on the budget, that's why.
Yeah, I'm not sure if we could, even if. So I don't think we could affect this year's budget anyways at this point, would we? Is it probably too late for that, I'm thinking?
I think they, if we were
Not
applying for
current.
grants.
Yeah, that's what I'm
not
thinking.
current, but when we have a great rate current now anyways, it would be
Yeah,
moving forward when it was that 20 to 30% delivery that we were looking at.
so I guess my question then is, how much of a heavy lift is this? Is it, because I know we're competing with a busy time with the warrant articles and all the other things going on in February, March. So I think, like Aaron was saying, that's probably why we kicked it out to April, just so it wouldn't put more stress on while all these other things are going on, but
That's fine, because we can come, if we have something to update, just update.
yeah. So I guess if you want to put it on February and just update us to it, I mean, it's almost like at this point, maybe we want to do like a monthly update or something. I don't know. What do you think?
That's fine.
Yeah, does that work for you? And
Yeah.
if you can chip away, you got, somebody wants to come and meet with us at some point, and discuss what they can offer us or something. I know we met with one group over probably a year ago, whatever, at this point or whatever.
Yeah.
All right, so if you guys are good with that, I guess it will change number 90 to just be like a monthly report.
Okay,
Okay. I don't see anything else on the, is there anything else you guys want to?
Just under new business.
Okay. So, yeah, so we're moving on. Where were we?
Yeah, we're in old business.
It is old business.
That's what that was, yeah. But it was part of the old last one too.
Okay.
Some new business.
Well, that was under action items.
Yeah.
So, old business? Anybody have any old business that they want to discuss? I don't have anything, but I do have something. Anything else? You guys go first?
No.
Oh, no, we're new business.
Oh, so old business, I think we talked about this before, I'm seeing a lot of salt on roads in town that are no salt roads. And I'm wondering, wherever I'm seeing these, there's a sign that says limited salt area. And I don't know if the plow drivers are seeing that and thinking, oh, it's limited salt, so that means I can spread salt. Even though I know they're supposed to know everything, every road in their mind,
Yeah, but remember.
I don't necessarily
Was it
believe.
last? No, it wasn't last winter, it was the year before, because I think it was before Kyle left. They changed the salt policy,
Yes,
that no salt doesn't, to more in line with what they were doing. So
Yep.
when it says no salt, that doesn't mean they're doing no salt.
it means they should be unless there's an emergency. And the problem was that every storm seemed to
Correct.
be an emergency. But the fact of the matter is, if you look at the policy that's in play right now, there are no salt roads. But the sign on some of those roads, Royal Court is one that I walk by all the time. And there's salt all over that road. It's a cul-de-sac, it's a short
It is,
cul-de-sac.
and to your point, I thought, my understanding was, so Natticook Road would receive the salt, but like.
That's a
your
limited road, yeah,
Your road, Royal Court,
are no salt roads.
would be a no salt unless it was absolutely needed.
Right, right. So I'm wondering if the truck drivers are seeing a sign. There's no signs that say no salt. The only signs that we have up say limited salt. So and we discussed this probably over a year or two ago. I was wondering, do we need to go around and change just the signs where there are signs on roads that are no salt roads in the policy? The policy says it's a no salt road, but the sign says limited salt. I'm wondering if that's causing some of the drivers to say, oh, it's limited salt, so just put the salt down. Whereas if they say the sign said no salt area, they'd be like, oh, I can't drive down that road. I can't do that one.
So
I thought the trucks were programmed. So that when they hit like Continental Boulevard or whatever, if it's limited salt, and it shows up as a different color.
I don't
So
believe that, because what I'm seeing doesn't match what I'm being told.
I agree, but I don't know if the trucks are functioning.
do we have no salt signs?
We don't have any no salt signs.
Okay. So it sounds like the first step would be to just contact the DOT and
No, these are town
This is
roads.
Oh,
Yeah,
No.
town DOT
the only no
No,
salt.
they're not gonna
road-
put no salt roads on,
No.
so we would be
Just-
putting,
to stop salting. Right, just the conversation. But when you said emergency only, or if it's only needed, that's pretty subjective. So
It is.
Who decides
That's
that?
why it was written.
What if somebody calls and says, hey, the road is slippery?
So,
and you had a lot of people, I know in the last storm on the Facebook groups talking about how their road was not in great shape and they were upset about it and they were calling DPW
yeah,
because their road was still snow covered.
We have a conversation with Lori, see.
Could- I mean, I'm just wondering how many signs there are, if there's like 5 or if there's like 25. I don't know. But it would just be a matter of, taking the 2 screws off and putting a new sign on instead of saying reduce salt and say no salt on the roads that are no salt roads.
Yeah.
I fully understand Camp Sargent, Natticook, Continental are all reduced salt, and leave those because that's what they are in the policy. But the signs are not matching the policy for no salt roads. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The only no salt sign that there is on Continental Boulevard whatever the heck it is, the DOT claims they can put it up.
So, yeah, it was just like, if you want immediate action, just have the conversation, obviously, first, and then we can talk about signs if we need to order them, but if that's gonna help.
Yeah, if you want to, maybe like, I don't know how, I remember seeing a map that had like a bunch of dots where all these signs are. I think we have them GPS. So what I would say is if we look at where there's a sign that's in a no salt road, count how many of those are. I just want to know if there's like just a few signs that need to be changed, or if there's like, how many did we even put up to begin with in total? They got the aquifer protection thing, and then they got like
Well, we put up,
reduced salt under.
we put up the wellhead protection signs,
Oh,
and the town put up the low,
reduced salt,
reduced salt.
yeah. So I wish they would have confirmed with us, and I don't know that they did or didn't, but I would have said, well, why are you putting up reduced salt signs on roads that are no salt in your policy? And they might have said, oh, yeah, you're right. Or they might have said, oh, well, that's so we can actually put salt down when we want and people won't call us. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Yeah, but,
it doesn't represent,
and I don't know, I'm not 100% on if it's the same person. Usually you have a route, and it's,
I don't know that they have staff for that now, though.
I don't know how much they have.
And the answer to the question was, at the time when I brought it up, all the drivers know their routes, even though the sign says reduce salt, they know it's a no salt, they won't put salt down. But there's definitely salt going down, and it's like every storm, and I can't imagine there's an emergency every storm. So that's my point. So if you want to maybe remember to maybe have that in your superintendent report or something next month, if you can remember that. All right. That was the only old business I had. Anybody have new business?
Yeah, we just wanted to move the March meeting.
Yes. Would the 10th work?
Sounds good.
You good too with that?
Yeah, I'm good with the 10th.
Hopefully Wolf is good.
He's good. In the minutes now, so.
Yeah.
Just go text him.
Actually, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even know if he's listening in or something right now.
Well, he could have joined.
Maybe just, I don't know. Well, I guess that if this, is there any other new business? Anybody has, then the next thing is just questions from press and public, and that's normally when we look and see.
Nobody.
Look like Wolf's on there. So if there's no other questions from press and public, then I guess the next meeting is scheduled for February 24th. So we got to remember to change, like on the website, the next March regular meeting. And other than that, I guess we'll entertain a motion to adjourn if no one else has any other.
So moved.
All right. Motion by Ken, second by Scott. You guys good? Nothing else you have? Any
I'm good.
business to? All right. All those in favor signify by saying aye to adjourn.
Aye.
Sounds good. See you next month, Merrimack. Thank you.